Have you ever paused and wondered why is it that some people in their 80s seem to slow down, losing energy and joy, while others, well into their 90s and even past 100, still radiate vitality, humor, and purpose? It's not just about having good genes or winning the genetic lottery. The real secret lies in everyday choice habits and mindsets that quietly shape the way we age. Behind every vibrant senior walking confidently into their golden years, there are stories, lessons, and deeply rooted wisdom. And here's the good news. These aren't reserved for the lucky few. These are lessons that anyone can start applying right now, at 65, 75, or 85. Hi there, and welcome to Elder Path, where we share the most heartfelt, research-backed advice for elderly viewers looking to live not just longer but better. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 timeless lessons that people who thrive past 100 years old tend to live by. These aren't just theories. They're proven truths drawn from real-life centenarians, experts in aging, and everyday people who've defied expectations and lived remarkable lives. So if you're looking for practical, meaningful advice for elderly loved ones or yourself to stay strong in body, sharp in mind, and fulfilled in spirit, stay with me. You're about to uncover some of the most powerful insights you'll ever hear about aging well. Lesson 1. Stay curious. Never stop learning. At 95 years old, Martha Reynolds walked across a stage to receive her college diploma. She sat beside students more than 70 years younger, smiled as she held her degree, and when asked why she went back to school, she simply said, "Because I've still got questions." That sentence carries more weight than we realize. You see, aging is not just a process of the body, it's a journey of the mind and spirit. And curiosity. That's the fuel. It's what keeps the mind alive, flexible, and full of possibilities. It's one of the most underestimated tools in our toolbox, especially as we grow older. Many people assume that once we hit a certain age, whether it's 65 or 80, we've learned enough. But the truth is, the brain never stops craving stimulation. Studies in neuroscience show that learning new things creates new neural pathways. Even after age 80, the human brain remains capable of adapting and growing, especially when it's challenged. That's why one of the most powerful pieces of advice for elderly individuals is this. Stay curious. Curiosity isn't about mastering calculus or learning a new language fluently. It's about saying yes to wonder. It's trying a new recipe even if you mess it up. It's picking up a novel in a genre you've never explored. It's asking your grandchildren about their favorite music or joining a book club, even if you're nervous to speak up. Let me tell you about Harold, a retired mailman who lives in Oregon. At 87, he started watching YouTube videos on painting. At first, it was just to pass time. But one day, he picked up a brush, followed along, and painted his first ever landscape. It wasn't perfect, but it lit a fire in him. Today, at 91, Harold paints every afternoon and even teaches a small class at the senior center once a week. He says, "Painting gave me a new reason to wake up every morning." That's the magic of learning. It gives life new meaning. Research from the Harvard Medical School confirms that engaging in mentally stimulating activities like puzzles, reading, learning instruments, or even browsing educational content online can significantly delay cognitive decline. It reduces the risk of conditions like Alzheimer's and helps you stay mentally sharp, confident, and socially connected. Another great example is Rita, a 78-year-old widow from Florida who decided to take up gardening. She joined a local horticulture club, and now not only grows her own herbs and vegetables, but has become the go-to green thumb in her neighborhood. She says, "Learning to garden helped me feel productive again. It made me feel young." These stories aren't rare, they're reminders. Reminders that we are never too old to grow, and never too late to discover new passions. So, here's a simple challenge. Ask yourself, what have I always wanted to know more about? It could be something as simple as how to make sourdough bread, how to use a smartphone better, or even how to meditate. Don't let fear or self-doubt stop you. One of the most empowering pieces of advice for elderly individuals is to embrace the learner within you. Learning doesn't have to be lonely either. Try joining a group class or signing up for virtual courses. Many community centers and libraries offer free or low-cost classes specifically designed for older adults. Learning with others not only keeps your mind engaged, it builds social connection, which is equally vital for longevity and happiness. To live long is a blessing, but to stay curious while doing it, that's what makes life truly rich. So stay curious, Ask the questions, open the book, start the hobby, embrace the wonder that still lives within you, because your mind isn't done growing, and neither are you. Lesson 2. Move like your life depends on it, because it does. Have you ever noticed how children rarely stop moving? They bounce from place to place, full of energy and life. Now think about the seniors you know who are still thriving in their 80s or 90s. Chances are, they're still on the move too, maybe not bouncing like kids, but certainly not sitting still for long. That's no coincidence. One of the most life-saving pieces of advice for elderly people is simple: keep moving. Movement is medicine. It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. It's about making movement a consistent, joyful part of your everyday life. Whether it's walking around the block, stretching in the morning, gardening in the afternoon, or dancing in the kitchen, moving your body is one of the best ways to protect your health as you age. Let me tell you a story. Robert, a retired mechanic from Michigan, was 82 when his doctor told him that his blood pressure was creeping up and his muscle strength was declining. Instead of medication as the first step, his doctor gave him something surprising: a pedometer and a target 5,000 steps a day. At first, Robert was skeptical. "That's a lot of walking," he said. But he gave it a try. He walked slowly at first, around his house, then down the street. Within a month, he was walking a mile each morning. Within 3 months, his blood pressure had improved, his knees hurt less, and most importantly, he felt proud of himself again. "It gave me purpose," he said, "and it made me feel like I was still in control." That's the power of movement. As we age, our muscles naturally lose mass and strength in a process called sarcopenia. Our joints stiffen, our bones get more brittle, and our balance can become shaky. But these changes aren't destiny. Regular physical activity, especially gentle, low-impact movement, can help reverse or slow down many of these effects. According to the CDC, older adults who stay physically active are less likely to suffer from heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, and cognitive decline. In fact, movement has been directly linked to lower risks of Alzheimer's, improved sleep, stronger bones, and even better digestion. And here's the good news. You don't have to hit 10,000 steps a day or sweat through a boot camp to benefit. Start small. Take a 10-minute walk after each meal. Do gentle stretches before bed. Try a senior yoga class online. Water aerobics is fantastic if you have access to a pool. It's easy on the joints and surprisingly effective. Even cleaning your house, playing with your grandkids, or tending to a garden counts as movement. The key isn't how hard you move, it's that you keep moving. And don't overlook strength and balance. Resistance bands, light weights, or even using your own body weight to do chair squats or wall push-ups can help maintain muscle and prevent falls. Balance exercises like standing on one foot or walking heel to toe are simple but powerful in building stability and confidence. Here's another essential piece of advice for elderly people. Movement isn't just physical, it's emotional, too. When you move, your body releases endorphins, those natural feel-good chemicals that fight off stress, anxiety, and even depression. A walk in nature or a gentle stretch session can lift your mood and give you clarity in ways no medication ever could. Plus, movement creates routine, and routine brings comfort. Having a regular physical activity, even something as modest as morning stretches or an afternoon stroll, adds rhythm to your days and gives you something to look forward to. It's a signal to your brain and body that you're still living with intention. So, whether you're 65 or 95, ask yourself, how can I move more today? Maybe it's a walk with your dog, dancing to your favorite oldies, or joining a walking group at the park. Whatever it is, make it joyful, make it yours. And remember, movement is not a chore. It's a celebration of what your body can still do. It's a gift. It's a promise to yourself that you're not giving up, but leaning in. Advice for elderly? Move like your life depends on it, because it truly does. Lesson 3. Nurture your social circle, because loneliness is a silent danger. When we think about staying healthy in our later years, we often focus on diet, exercise, or medication. But there's another crucial ingredient that too often gets overlooked: connection. And I'm not just talking about casual conversation. I mean deep, meaningful, soul-filling relationships. Here's one of the most life-affirming pieces of advice for elderly people. Don't grow old alone. Loneliness isn't just an emotional state, it's a health hazard. Studies have found that chronic loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and even early death. And sadly, many older adults find themselves feeling more isolated as the years pass. Children move away, friends pass on, health limits mobility. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be that way. The antidote to loneliness is intentional connection. Let me tell you about Gloria and Sam, both in their 80s, who met at a local senior center in Ohio. Gloria had lost her husband, and Sam's kids lived out of state. They were both feeling invisible and alone. But after a few shared meals at the community lunch program, a friendship blossomed. They started playing cards, walking together at the mall, and even started a small book club with 3 other seniors. Today, they both say those connections saved them emotionally, mentally, even physically. Friendship isn't just a comfort, it's a shield. It lowers stress hormones, boosts immunity, and gives us a sense of purpose. When we feel seen and valued, we want to take better care of ourselves. We show up for life. So, how can you nurture your social circle, no matter your age or circumstances? Start small. Reach out to an old friend you haven't talked to in a while. Call them, write them a letter, or send a quick email. Attend a local community event, a church gathering, or join a hobby group. Most towns and cities in the U.S. have senior centers offering game nights, walking clubs, art classes, and discussion groups. Don't underestimate the power of simply showing up. And yes, technology can help bridge gaps. A weekly video call with family, or even joining a Facebook group for seniors with shared interests, can help you feel connected. But remember, real connection goes deeper than just scrolling through updates. Make time for heartfelt conversations. Another powerful piece of advice for elderly individuals is to nurture intergenerational relationships. Share your stories, your wisdom, your life experiences. Younger people are often hungry for guidance, and many feel a lack of connection to older generations. You can be that bridge. Whether it's mentoring, tutoring, or simply having coffee with your neighbor's teenage granddaughter, these bonds uplift both sides. And don't let pride or fear hold you back. It's okay to say, I feel lonely sometimes, I'd love some company. Vulnerability builds real bonds. Also be the initiator. Invite someone for a walk. Start a weekly movie night. Host a small potluck. Relationships take effort, but the reward is priceless. It's also worth saying, not every relationship needs to be lifelong or deep. Sometimes, short, warm conversations, a chat with the grocery clerk, a smile at the dog park, can lift your spirits and remind you that you're still part of the fabric of the world. And if you've experienced loss, as so many have, allow yourself to grieve, but also open your heart to new connections. No one replaces a loved one, but new people can bring new light. At the end of the day, the strongest advice for elderly folks is this: never stop building your tribe. Your social circle is your safety net, your laughter source, your reminder that life is still full of meaning. Because we weren't made to go through life alone, and that doesn't change with age. So today, take one small step. Reach out, show up, open up. The joy, healing, and strength that come from connection could add years to your life, and life to your years. Lesson 4. Eat like your future depends on it, because it does. There's a reason the saying, "You are what you eat," still rings true, especially as we get older. For those of us in our 60s, 70s, or 80s, the food we put on our plate can either become our best medicine or the silent thief of our vitality. And here's one piece of advice for elderly folks that can't be overstated: what you eat now determines how you live later. You might think, I've been eating this way my whole life, why change now? But here's the truth: your body changes with age. Your metabolism slows, your digestion shifts, and your ability to absorb certain nutrients decreases. What worked for you in your 40s may not be enough or maybe too much now. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold, a retired bus driver from Georgia. At 82, Harold was battling fatigue, joint pain, and pre-diabetes. After a visit to a local senior wellness class, he started making small dietary changes. He swapped his morning white toast and bacon for oatmeal with blueberries and walnuts. He began drinking more water, cutting back on sugary sodas. 6 months later, he reported better sleep, less pain, and even dropped 12 pounds. "I didn't go on a diet," he laughed. "I just started eating like I cared about my tomorrow." So, how should older adults eat for health and longevity? First and foremost, prioritize whole, unprocessed foods. Fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains like oats or brown rice, lean proteins like chicken, fish, or legumes. These should be your everyday staples. They provide essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support everything from bone health to brain function. Second, don't underestimate the power of protein. Sarcopenia-related muscle loss is a real threat after 60. Including protein in every meal helps maintain muscle strength and mobility. Eggs, Greek yogurt, beans, tofu, or lean meats are excellent options. Third, embrace healthy fats. Omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, flax seeds, and walnuts help reduce inflammation, support heart health, and even protect against cognitive decline. Try roasting vegetables with olive oil instead of butter or sprinkle some flax seeds on your cereal. Fourth, stay hydrated. Many seniors simply forget to drink enough water, mistaking thirst for hunger, or skipping fluids to avoid frequent bathroom trips. But dehydration can lead to confusion, constipation, fatigue, and even falls. Aim for about 8 cups, 64 ounces, of fluids a day, mostly water, herbal teas, or broths. And here's another practical advice for elderly viewers. Watch your portions, but don't deprive yourself. Follow the Okinawan principle of hara hachibu, stop eating when you're 80% full. This simple shift can prevent overeating without making you feel restricted. Fifth, eat with joy. Food is more than fuel. It's celebration, comfort, connection. Make mealtimes meaningful. Invite friends over for soup and conversation. Try a new recipe with your grandkids. Join a community meal program if you live alone. Eating well is also about how you eat, not just what you eat. Now let's address the elephant in the room: processed foods and sugar. It's okay to enjoy a treat now and then, but relying on convenience meals, packaged snacks, or sugary drinks can accelerate inflammation, raise blood pressure, and lead to diabetes or heart issues. Try to limit these to occasional indulgences, not daily habits. And yes, if cooking has become physically challenging, there are ways to adapt. Use pre-chopped vegetables, frozen fruit, or slow cookers for simple meals. Meals on Wheels or senior nutrition services can also provide nutritious options if grocery shopping is difficult. One final piece of advice for elderly adults trying to eat better: start where you are. You don't need to overhaul your entire pantry overnight. Make 1 or 2 small changes. Switch to whole grain bread, add a fruit to your breakfast, drink an extra glass of water. In short, every bite matters. The food you choose can heal your body, strengthen your bones, sharpen your mind, and lift your energy. Eating well isn't about following trends or being perfect. It's about loving yourself enough to nourish your future. Because when you eat like your future depends on it, you give yourself the power to shape what that future looks like. Lesson 5. Find purpose, a reason to wake up every day. What gets you out of bed in the morning? For some, it's the anticipation of seeing the grandkids. For others, it's tending to a garden, walking the dog, volunteering at the local library, or even making a fresh pot of coffee and sitting by the window with the morning paper. No matter how simple or grand it may seem, having a purpose is one of the most powerful keys to living a long, fulfilling life. If you're looking for honest and heartfelt advice for elderly individuals hoping to thrive and not just survive in their golden years, this is it. Find a reason to live, and live for it every single day. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Walter Brooks, a retired carpenter from Nebraska. After losing his wife, Walter struggled with loneliness and depression. Days felt long, empty, and without direction. But everything changed when his neighbor asked him to help build a birdhouse for her grandson's school project. That small act of kindness rekindled something in him. He began crafting birdhouses for local schools and community centers. Within months, Walter had a waiting list and even started teaching weekend workshops. "I didn't realize how badly I needed to feel useful again," he once said. "Now, every morning, I wake up with a reason." That's the beauty of purpose. It doesn't have to be dramatic or world-changing. It just needs to be meaningful to you. Studies consistently show that older adults who maintain a strong sense of purpose are more likely to live longer, experience fewer health problems, and enjoy better cognitive function. In fact, one study from the Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center found that seniors with a high sense of purpose were 2.4 times more likely to remain free of Alzheimer's than those with low purpose. So why is purpose such a powerful force? Purpose gives you direction. It turns ordinary days into something to look forward to. It gives you energy, drive, and resilience to push through the aches and pains, the tough news, the hard days. It also reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and can even boost immune function. That's not just theory, it's biology. Purpose aligns the body, mind, and spirit. For those seeking practical advice for elderly individuals trying to rediscover or redefine their purpose, here are some questions to reflect on. What brings you joy? What have people thanked you for? What do you look forward to doing, even when no one asks? Is there a cause, skill, or tradition you can pass on? Maybe you've always loved baking. Why not teach a grandchild your favorite recipe, or start a YouTube channel? Perhaps you've got decades of wisdom about marriage, money, or farming. Could you share that knowledge with a younger generation? Or maybe you're a natural listener. Could you volunteer at a support hotline or retirement community? Purpose doesn't have an expiration date. It evolves as we do. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the world's longest living people, the concept of ikigai, translated as a reason for being, is central to their culture. Whether it's tending a garden, caring for grandchildren, or practicing a craft passed down for generations, having something to wake up for each day is not only a way of life, it's a path to longevity. And if you're still searching, that's okay. Sometimes, purpose finds us in the most unexpected ways. Just be open to trying new things, meeting new people, and asking yourself what truly matters to you at this stage in life. Because here's the truth. Life doesn't end at retirement. It transforms. And purpose is what fuels that transformation. So whether you're 65, 85, or somewhere in between, don't underestimate the impact of living with intention. Your story isn't over. In fact, the next chapter might just be the most meaningful one yet. And if you needed one final piece of advice for elderly folks determined to age with grace, energy, and joy, it's this: don't just count the years. Make the years count. A life worth living. So here we are, dear friends. We've walked through 5 powerful lessons, each one rooted in science, enriched by stories, and guided by heart. And maybe, as you listened, something stirred within you, a memory, a dream, a spark. Perhaps you saw yourself in Martha, still chasing knowledge at 95, or in Walter, building birdhouses with purpose and pride, or maybe in someone who simply refuses to give up dancing, walking, or learning new things just because of a number on a birthday cake. Let's be honest, aging isn't always easy. The body changes, loved ones leave, society sometimes forgets, but here's what they often don't tell you: you're still powerful, you're still needed, and you still have so much life left to live. This isn't just advice for elderly folks, it's an invitation to stay curious, to move with joy, to nurture relationships, to eat with purpose, and above all, to find meaning in the ordinary moments of your days. Because the secret to living beyond 80, beyond 90, maybe even beyond 100, isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. So wake up tomorrow with a purpose in your heart. Pick up that book, take that walk, call that friend, plant that seed. And remember, the best time to start living fully was yesterday. The next best time is today. You've got this.